Mr. Managing Director Oliver Dides, DEKRA, Bodo, who has, I think, left the room, but thank you for hosting us. Head of Cabinet of the Ivanova Cabinet, Mr. Schulte, everyone, ladies and members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the European Coordinator for Road Safety, and as was said in this keynote speech, the European Union has a vision of 0 fatalities by 2050 and an interim target of 50% less death and serious injuries by 2030. Death on the road should become as rare as fatalities in the air and on rail, the other modes. And of course, we can achieve that. I think tonight's award that I'll be handing over in a moment demonstrates that it is possible. It was said that 90% of mistakes are human. Clearly, the other remaining 10% are Swedes, who, as you know, are somewhere in between human and perfect. So this is why the prize tonight goes to the Swedish city of Karlstad. But before I hand that over, I think it's very important to say that the progress that we have made so far, and you saw the graph, it is good. It is a 60% reduction over 20 years. So let's celebrate that. But as I was always also said, this is 20,600 deaths too many. How do we get there so far? Well, obviously, you know, the full comprehensive system approach. It's improved infrastructure, it's equipment, it's seat belts, it's helmets. I'd say also enforcement is very important. Speed is the excessive speed is the major or most significant contributor to accidents. But then the question, of course, remains: how do we then get to 0? And to me, it is abundantly clear that we will not get to 0 with the current mix of tools in our toolbox. It's also clear that our mobility patterns are changing, which is good, greening transport. But we have a lot of more active modes of mobility. We have e-scooters on the road. We have a lot more cycling. The European Commission has just adopted a cycling declaration. And so we have more vulnerable road users, and therefore the challenge isn't a static one. And I'm sure we'll hear from the winner in Karlstad how these various vulnerable road users must be protected. And it's not just a question of a bicycle lane painted on the street. It is investments in infrastructure and changing our cities, because a lot of our accidents, and the major problem we now have, is accidents in urban environments. So it's about changing how we organize our cities, and that's not done overnight, but it has to be done. Technology, I'm a firm believer we will not get to 0 without technology. And I'm also very modest in saying that on that, it's very good to hear the announcement that Horizon Europe is putting resources into this area, because we have a lot of work to do. I can say, I think, very candidly, that member states, with their legislation, and also the European, we're not ready. We're not ready for a technology that is already there. Whether it's artificial intelligence, whether it's sensors, automated driving, for sure, we're not ready. With the regulatory framework, I mean. I know the technology is there, but with the regulatory framework, we're not ready. But at the same time, if we don't use all these tools, we won't get to 0. So there's a gap, and there's a challenge collectively that we have to meet. The Commission is doing its part as the regulator. There was talk about understanding the system, so the driver license directive that is going through Council and Parliament. We have, of course, made it an obligation under the directive to learn about these new systems. So when you take the driver license directive, driver license, you are taught about that. I myself have a car. I'm not on speaking terms with a navigation system, for instance. Maybe that's my age, but you know, these are things that you have to teach when you get your driver license first. Then there's the question of testing, and that links to enforcement. Very important point. Again here, my department is putting the finishing touches on a proposal for the roadworthiness package. So it's about how our cars are being tested, and right now they are not obliged to test all these new gadgets in our cars. So the testing centers do not know what they are supposed to do with this computer that now rolls into the workshop. It's no longer a car, it's a computer. And I would say the bulk of the important information is in that computer, not sort of, well, also the brakes, of course, but this is how you test that all these systems are working and are not being tampered with. So we have work to do. The Commission has made proposals, more are coming, and of course we rely on Parliament and Council to support us. Now, to the price of the evening, as I said, it shows that it can be done. The city of Karlstad, somewhere in the middle of Sweden, where probably there are only Swedes driving. That's also why you're safe. It's the 20th largest city of Sweden, I think, 95,000 inhabitants, something like that. So it's not a small city. And you have had, I believe, over the last 8 years, no fatalities in your city. And that, I think, should be an inspiration and encouragement, a proof to all of us that it can be done. I don't think it's luck. 1 year can be luck, but if you do it 8 years in a row, it's like Lionel Messi and the Ballon d'Or. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about having done the right thing. It isn't luck. You will tell us how you did it. I think I know some of the details. I'll leave it to you to share the experience. But for now, please join me on stage. And then I should be given a diploma that I can hand over to you. Here it is. Receives the Vision Zero Award, DEKRA Award for the City of Karlstad for the outstanding performance of road safety in the last 10 years. So on behalf of DEKRA and on my own behalf, congratulations.
Thank
well done.
you very much.
Now I think you should tell us how you did it.
Yes, of course, I will tell you everything. Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here to receive this award for the municipality and the city of Karlstad. It's in Sweden, as you heard, and it's a city of, as you said, 96,000 inhabitants. On the north shore of the largest lake in EU, no one ever knows, Vänern, and on the corridor between Oslo and Stockholm. So it's not so very far away, centrally placed actually. And for almost 10 years, Karlstad, the regional capital of the region of Värmland, that I represent here in Brussels, has systematically worked with speed regulation and children's school routes. Regulated low speed and other speed reducing measures were pedestrians, cyclists and cars mixed to increase safety in the immediate environment from where the journey begins, that is leaving home to go to school. Karlstad has a well-developed network for pedestrians and cyclists with many miles of separated and divided pedestrian and cycling paths. We also invest in sweep salting to increase the cyclist safety in winter. Where pedestrians and cyclists cross roads, there are often some measures, and more tougher ones, such as the speed bumps. Even though Karlstad has done a lot, there are always requests for more. The challenges ahead is to get road users to follow traffic rules and show consideration for each other. I think that's been mentioned here as well. It's a great honor for Karlstad to receive this award, and we want you to know that Karlstad will continue to work hard with the Zero Vision goals. Thank you very, very much.